What if the golden years of your life weren't about letting go of time, but reclaiming it? In your 80s, you have the unique opportunity to shed what no longer serves you, opinions, obligations, and worries, and embrace a life of joy, peace, and fulfillment. In this video, we'll reveal 12 life-changing realizations that can help you transform this stage of life into your most meaningful chapter yet. Let's start this incredible journey together. 1. Learning to let go of the fear of death. Learning to let go of the fear of death is one of the most liberating lessons you can embrace. It's not about denying its existence, it's about understanding its place in the journey of life. For years, I let that fear linger in the background, quietly shaping my choices and holding me back from truly living. But I've come to realize that fearing death doesn't add more time to life. It simply takes away from the moments we already have. By letting go of this fear, I found myself making room for things that truly matter: deeper relationships, richer experiences, and a sense of peace I'd never known before. It's like shedding a heavy coat you didn't realize you were wearing. You feel lighter, freer, and more connected to the present. Letting go also means reprioritizing what's truly important. Material possessions lose their grip, toxic relationships fade into the past, and the obligations you once thought were necessary reveal themselves as distractions. In their place, you discover joy in simplicity, meaning in connection, and strength in self-growth. This shift doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean we stop caring about the future. Instead, it's about honoring life by living it fully, laughing louder, loving more deeply, and cherishing the here and now. When you make peace with the inevitable, life becomes more vibrant. You stop existing in fear and start thriving in gratitude. Every day becomes a chance to create, connect, and grow. Letting go of the fear of death isn't an end, it's the beginning of a richer, more intentional way of living. 2. Letting go of the weight of others' opinions. One of the most profound lessons after turning 80 is realizing that the opinions of others, the ones that once held such weight in our decisions, no longer hold true power. From a young age, we're taught to seek approval, conform to societal norms, and shape ourselves according to the expectations of family, friends, and society. The sense of being judged can overwhelm us, dictating how we dress, speak, and behave. But as we reach 80, we've weathered enough storms to understand a liberating truth: other people's opinions do not define our worth. This awakening is not sudden. It is the culmination of years of living, learning, and maturing. We come to realize that the energy spent worrying about what others think of us is ultimately wasted energy. Think of all those times in life when we hesitated to pursue passions, express opinions, or make important decisions because we were overly concerned with what others might think of us. At this stage, we can finally put down this burden and recognize that those opinions are just that, opinions. They don't truly affect our happiness, success, or fulfillment unless we allow them to. Letting go of the weight of others' opinions is a deeply personal process, but once achieved, it restores inner peace and freedom. We begin to live more authentically, making decisions based on what brings joy and satisfaction to ourselves, rather than seeking to please others. This is a powerful transformation that allows us to live more fully, in harmony with our true selves. Imagine an 80-year-old woman who has spent much of her life trying to meet the expectations of her family. She worked a job she didn't love, maintained relationships that no longer served her, and suppressed her true desires for fear of judgment. It wasn't until retirement, reflecting on her life, that she realized she had spent so much energy living according to others' expectations. When she let go of the need for approval, she was able to pursue her passion for painting, travel the world on her own terms, and create a life that truly brought her joy. That sense of liberation is something we all can experience. Imagine waking up every day and making decisions based only on your own desires and needs, no longer bound by the opinions of others. This is the kind of freedom that comes with age and wisdom, and it is a gift we all can embrace. 3. Letting go of the burden of material possessions. As we grow older, our relationship with material possessions evolves. In our younger years, many of us were driven by accumulation, whether it was clothing, gadgets, furniture, or real estate. We believed these things would bring happiness, status, or security. And at times, they truly did. Yet, as we age, we begin to understand a profound truth. Genuine happiness doesn't reside in material possessions. In fact, material possessions often become burdens, especially in our later years. The items we once thought indispensable now clutter our living spaces and our minds. Closets brimming with unworn clothes, garages filled with forgotten trinkets, and homes crowded with objects once deemed essential now feel excessive. By the time we reach our 80s, we come to realize that less truly is more. Letting go of material burdens allows us to focus on what truly matters: relationships, experiences, and inner peace. This doesn't mean discarding everything, but rather being intentional about what we keep and what we leave behind. It's about simplifying life to live with clarity and tranquility. Decluttering not only creates physical space but also liberates emotional and mental energy. Each item we hold onto carries emotional weight. By releasing what no longer serves us, we free ourselves from the past and create room for new experiences and joys. Consider the stories of individuals who downsize their homes later in life. Many describe an overwhelming sense of relief and freedom. No longer consumed by the upkeep of a large house or managing a surplus of possessions, they found joy in spending time with loved ones, traveling, or pursuing personal passions. Simplicity enabled them to live more fully in the present, unburdened by the chaos of the past. Imagine walking into a home that greets you with openness, light, and peace rather than clutter and chaos. This is the gift of shedding the weight of material possessions. It's about creating a living space that reflects who we are now, not a relic of who we were. 4. Saying no to unnecessary social obligations. How many times in life have we found ourselves attending social gatherings or events out of a sense of obligation rather than genuine desire? Whether it's a family get-together, a corporate function, or a community gathering, many of us have spent years saying yes out of politeness or fear of disappointing others, even when all we longed for was a quiet evening at home. As we age, especially into our 80s, we gain the clarity and confidence to say no to unnecessary social obligations. We come to understand that life is too precious to spend time in places or with people who do not bring us joy. No longer feeling the need to be everywhere or please everyone, we start prioritizing our own needs and desires. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-care. It is about respecting our own boundaries and recognizing that our time and energy are valuable. By declining events or commitments that drain us, we create space for what truly matters: spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply enjoying a peaceful evening at home. This shift often comes with age and experience. When we're younger, we may feel pressured to say yes to everything to prove ourselves, maintain relationships, or avoid disappointing others. But as we grow older, we realize it's perfectly okay to say no. We no longer feel the need to please everyone and understand that protecting our energy allows us to show up more fully for the things and people that truly matter to us. Take, for example, the story of an elderly man who spent years attending every family gathering and social event out of obligation. Eventually, he allowed himself the freedom to say no. He began declining invitations to events that didn't align with his priorities and instead spent his time doing what brought him peace and fulfillment. At first, he worried that his family and friends might be disappointed, but to his surprise, they respected and understood his decisions. By prioritizing his mental well-being, he could approach the gatherings he chose to attend with greater presence and joy. This is the power of saying no. It is about reclaiming our time and energy and channeling them into what nourishes our soul rather than depleting it. By refusing unnecessary social obligations, we open ourselves to deeper, more meaningful connections and experiences.
5. Embracing true beauty. In a culture that venerates youth and physical perfection, aging can often feel like a battle against societal expectations. From magazine covers and television commercials to social media, we are constantly bombarded with images of beauty that are associated with smooth skin, toned bodies, and youthful features. The pressure to maintain these standards can become overwhelming, especially as we grow older. But what if we dared to reject these narrow definitions of beauty? What if we embraced the natural process of aging, viewing wrinkles on our faces and gray hairs not as flaws to conceal, but as symbols of lives lived? True beauty is not about perfection. It lies in the depth of character, the kindness we extend to others, and the wisdom we carry within us. It is reflected in the grace with which we move through life and the confidence we radiate when we live authentically. The wrinkles on our faces tell the story of a life well lived, of laughter, hardship, love, and growth. Gray hair is not something to hide but a testament to the wisdom we've accumulated over the years. By accepting the marks of age, we free ourselves from the unrealistic expectations society imposes. We stop striving to meet an ideal that was never attainable and instead celebrate the beauty that comes from living truthfully. Consider the people in your life whom you find truly beautiful. Perhaps their beauty isn't in their appearance, but in something deeper. It's in the kindness of their gaze, the warmth of their smile, and the wisdom in every word they speak. That is beauty that transcends age, and it is available to all of us when we choose to live authentically. For example, many women in their 80s feel more confident and liberated when they stop dyeing their hair or trying to hide their wrinkles. They realize that beauty isn't about looking young, but about gracefully and dignifiedly accepting the aging process. This shift in perspective allows them to walk through life with inner peace and a strength of authenticity that no external standard of beauty could ever match. Imagine the freedom of looking in the mirror and seeing not flaws, but the reflection of the person you have become. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every mark of age is proof of the life you've lived. That is true beauty, and it is something worthy of. 6. Reevaluating activities that no longer bring joy. As we journey through life, we often fall into habits that serve us for a time, but no longer bring the joy or satisfaction they once did. Whether it's a hobby we used to love, a social group we've been part of for years, or a tradition we've maintained simply out of routine, regularly reassessing how we spend our time becomes crucial. By the time we reach our 80s, we have earned the right to let go of activities that no longer bring us joy. This doesn't mean denying or devaluing what once mattered to us, but simply recognizing that we have the right to change. Our interests, passions, and priorities evolve over time, and that's a beautiful thing. Reevaluating our activities allows us to create space for new passions and experiences. It gives us the freedom to try new things, reconnect with old friends, or simply enjoy the tranquility of unplanned moments. For instance, a woman who has been part of a local gardening club for decades might realize that her interests have shifted. While gardening once brought her great joy, she now feels more drawn to painting or writing. Instead of continuing to attend the gardening club out of obligation, she allows herself to explore these new creative passions. This change not only brings her a fresh sense of fulfillment, but it also opens doors to meeting new people and experiencing new things. This is the beauty of reassessing our activities. It allows us to change, let go of what no longer serves us, and embrace what brings joy in the present moment. 7. Nurturing a sense of humor and a positive outlook. If there's one lesson life has taught me after 80, it's this. A sense of humor and a positive outlook are two of the most valuable tools you can carry with you. They may not erase life's challenges, but they make the journey far lighter and infinitely more joyful. A good laugh can turn difficult situations into manageable ones. I've had my days when I felt overwhelmed, yet a well-timed joke, sometimes from myself, has a way of easing the tension. Humor allows you to see the absurdity in life, reminding you not to take yourself or the world too seriously. But it's not just about laughter, it's about perspective. A positive outlook doesn't mean ignoring the hardships. It means choosing to see the lessons, the growth, and even the unexpected blessings in life's twists and turns. Optimism is a muscle, and the more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. When things go wrong, and they will go wrong, it's an opportunity to ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Adopting this mindset doesn't just shift your focus, it changes your entire experience. Problems feel smaller, solutions seem nearer, and life feels just a little bit brighter. And don't forget the ripple effect. Positivity is contagious. When you smile, it inspires others to smile. When you find humor in a situation, it fosters a shared connection. These small actions can create profound changes in the lives of those around you. So, embrace humor in your daily moments and hold on to optimism, no matter what life throws your way. They're not just coping mechanisms, they're superpowers that help you stay resilient, happy, and deeply connected to the beauty of life. 8. Cutting ties with toxic relationships. Relationships are one of the most important aspects of life's meaning. The connections we share with others can lift us, bring joy, and a sense of belonging. However, not all relationships are created equal. Some are nurturing and supportive, while others can drain us and become toxic. As we grow older, the need to evaluate the relationships in our lives becomes more critical than ever. We've lived long enough to understand the impact others have on our mental health, and we deserve to prioritize our own peace and happiness. Toxic relationships, whether with friends, family, or acquaintances, can weigh heavily on our souls. These are the connections that leave us feeling exhausted, unappreciated, or belittled. They are relationships that bring more stress than joy, more criticism than support. Cutting off a toxic relationship is not an act of anger or resentment. It's an act of self-care. It's the recognition that we deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift us, celebrate our victories, and support our growth. Life is too short to spend time with those who make us feel incomplete. Letting go of toxic relationships can be difficult, especially when they are long-standing or involve loved ones. But by doing so, we create space for healthier, more fulfilling connections to enter our lives. We allow ourselves the freedom to be surrounded by love, positivity, and support. For example, an 80-year-old man
who has spent years maintaining a relationship with a critical family member eventually decided to create some distance. This decision wasn't born out of bitterness, but from a desire to regain his peace. By severing this toxic relationship, he was able to focus on those who truly brought joy and support into his life. This change brought him a new sense of peace and happiness, allowing him to fully enjoy the remaining years of his life. Imagine the relief when you let go of relationships that no longer serve you. By prioritizing your own mental health, you create space for love, joy, and positivity to flow into your life. This is the gift of cutting ties with toxic relationships. It's the path to emotional freedom and inner peace.
9. Letting go of comparison. Comparison is often said to be the thief of joy, and indeed it is. Throughout life, we are constantly tempted to measure ourselves against others, whether it's financial success, family life, or personal achievements. We compare our homes, jobs, bodies, and even relationships, convinced that others' lives are perhaps better or more complete than our own. But as we grow older, particularly after 80, we begin to recognize the futility of comparison. Every life journey is different, and no two paths are alike. What brings happiness to one person may not bring joy to another. Success, fulfillment, and happiness cannot be measured by someone else's standards. These are deeply personal, unique aspects of each individual's life. Letting go of comparison allows us to fully embrace the richness of our own life. It frees us from the constant pressure to meet others' standards and allows us to define success in our own terms. By focusing on our own journey, we can appreciate the beauty and uniqueness of our own experiences without feeling the need to compare them to anyone else's. Consider the example of an elderly couple who spent many years comparing their financial situation to their neighbors. They worried they hadn't saved enough, that their home wasn't as nice, or that their retirement plan wasn't sufficient. But as they grew older, they realized that their true happiness wasn't tied to their bank account or their house. It was in the love they shared, the experiences they had, and the memories they created together. By letting go of comparison, they could fully appreciate the life they had built and found a deep sense of peace and satisfaction. This is the gift of letting go of comparison. It allows us to live fully in the present moment, appreciating the richness of our own life without the pressure of measuring up to others. 10. Redefining goals. In the early stages of life, many of our goals are shaped by societal expectations. Career success, financial stability, and achieving certain milestones drive us. We are motivated by the desire to build a successful career, accumulate wealth, or gain recognition in our chosen field. But as we age, especially after 80, we begin to realize that some of those goals no longer align with who we are or with what we truly want in life. Now is the time to redefine success. So, what matters most to you at this stage of life? Is it spending more time with loved ones? Or pursuing passions that you never had time for before? Or simply enjoying the peace that comes from living consciously and with purpose? Letting go of old goals is not giving up, it is growth. It is the realization that true success is not about status or wealth, but about the contentment found in the life we are living. Redefining goals helps us focus on what brings us the deepest joy and meaning in this phase of life. For example, a woman who spent decades climbing the career ladder may realize that her definition of success has changed. While her career once brought her great joy, now she finds more meaning in spending time with her grandchildren, traveling, or pursuing a creative passion she never had time for before. By redefining her goals, she can live a life that aligns with her current values and desires, rather than holding on to old definitions of success that no longer serve her. This is the power of redefining goals. It allows us to let go of what no longer matters and focus on what brings us deep happiness, peace, and fulfillment.
11. Prioritize your own happiness without guilt. For much of our lives, we are taught to place the needs of others above our own. We are raised to believe that self-sacrifice is a virtue and that prioritizing our own happiness is selfish. But as we grow older, we begin to realize that this mindset is flawed. You cannot pour water from an empty cup. If you give all your energy to others without taking care of yourself, you will find that you have nothing left to give. Prioritizing your own happiness is not selfish, it is essential. It enables you to bring the best version of yourself to those you love and to the most important relationships in your life. By the time you reach 80, it's time to accept that your happiness matters too. You've spent a lifetime giving to others, and now it's time to give to yourself. Take time to do what brings you joy, whether that's resting, pursuing passions, or simply enjoying quiet moments for reflection. When you prioritize your own happiness, you not only benefit yourself but also become a source of positive energy and light for those around you. Consider the example of a woman who spent many years caring for her family and placing their needs ahead of her own. After turning 80, she began to prioritize her own happiness. She enrolled in art classes, traveled solo, and spent more time immersed in nature. Initially, she felt guilty for taking time for herself, but she soon realized that by caring for herself, she could care for her family better. The energy, joy, and enthusiasm in her life became contagious, and her family benefited from seeing her happy. This is the power of prioritizing your own happiness. When you take care of yourself, you bring love, energy, and joy to those around you. It is not selfish, it is essential. Accepting this freedom allows you to live more lightly. 12. Creating a meaningful legacy. As the years pass, the idea of leaving behind a meaningful legacy becomes more than just a thought. It becomes a mission. It's not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. It's about the quiet, deliberate ways in which you touch the lives of others and the world around you. A legacy is not just what you leave behind after you're gone, it is the impact you make throughout your lifetime. It can be as simple as teaching your grandchildren to appreciate kindness, as profound as sharing the wisdom you've gained, or as concrete as supporting the causes you care about. Every action you take to uplift others contributes to a legacy of love and purpose. One of the most meaningful legacies you can create is through the relationships you nurture. The time you spend with others, the lessons you impart, and the love you pour into those connections create ripples that extend far beyond your own life. Creating a legacy also means living with purpose. It's about aligning your actions with your values and ensuring that what matters most to you is reflected in how you spend your time and energy. Whether it's as a mentor, volunteer, or simply a source of encouragement, your contributions matter deeply. And remember, a legacy is not defined by wealth or fame, it's defined by the lives you touch. It's found in moments of empathy, acts of kindness, and the courage to live true to yourself. When you reflect on your legacy, ask yourself, what do I want to be remembered for? What kind of impact do I want to leave? By living in alignment with those answers every day, you're not just creating a legacy, you're living a legacy. So begin now. Build something meaningful. Leave this world a little brighter, a little kinder, and a little more inspiring because you were here. Life after 80 unfolds as a unique opportunity to live with intention and abundant joy. This stage of life offers the chance to release burdens carried for far too long, whether they be the weight of others' judgments, the clutter of material possessions, or toxic relationships. By shedding these encumbrances, we create space for what truly matters: meaningful connections, personal growth, and simple joys that bring us happiness. It is a time to prioritize your own happiness without guilt, to live lightly and deliberately, and to embrace the beauty of life in its purest form. Reflecting on these 9 transformative realizations, we see that life is not about accumulation but appreciation. It's not about conformity but authenticity. And most importantly, it's not about pleasing others but finding peace within ourselves. As we move through life, particularly into our 80s, it becomes clear that true fulfillment does not come from holding on but from letting go. By releasing the weight of what no longer serves us, whether societal expectations, harmful relationships, or the endless pursuit of material possessions, we open ourselves to joy, clarity, and a deeper sense of purpose. I hope these 9 transformative realizations inspire you to embrace this beautiful chapter of life with open arms and a light heart. Remember, the golden years are not just about living longer, they're about living better. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to receive the latest updates. The stories are collected from various sources and do not represent any individual or organization. They are shared with the intention of spreading human values in life and have been rewritten with the support of AI. If there are any mistakes, kindly overlook them with understanding. Wishing you all the best in life.